Hello, BANT enthusiasts! Dominaria United spoilers are here. So, let's take a look at BANT cards that were revealed yesterday in the Wizards stream. The first card, Ajani Sleeper Agent, for one colorless, one green, one white, and one hybrid green-white mana. You get the legendary Planeswalker Ajani, which has completed, which means you can pay 2 life, green or white for the Phyrexian hybrid mana, and if you do, this Planeswalker enters the battlefield with 2 fewer loyalty counters. So it's either a 4-drop with 4 loyalties or a 3-drop with 2 loyalties. Effects: +1, reveal the top card of a library. If it's a creature or Planeswalker card, put it into your hand, otherwise you may put it on the bottom of your library. -3, distribute 3 +1/+1 counters among up to 3 target creatures. They gain vigilance until end of turn. And -6, you get an emblem with whenever you cast a creature or Planeswalker spell, target with the opponent gets 2 poison counters. So it's a Planeswalker that doesn't give protection to itself. So that's already a bad thing. But +1 gives you card advantage, but you need to play Planeswalkers and creatures to have that. -3, good effect if you have already a board, but otherwise it doesn't do anything. And -6 usually should win you the game, because you should play this card with the creatures. So overall, I think it's more of a sideboard against control or a one-off in a aggro deck, because the 3 +1/+1 counters are still good. So next card, Defiler of Dreams. It's a 5 mana, 3 colorless and 2 blue, 4/3 creature, Phyrexian Sphinx. It has flying. As additional cost to cast blue permanent spells, you may pay 2 life. Those spells cost 1 blue mana less to cast if you paid life this way. This effect reduces only the amount of blue mana you play. And whenever you cast a blue permanent spell, draw a card. So overall, I think it has a cool effect. You need to play a lot of permanent spells, so blue permanent spells, so creatures, enchantments, blue artifacts, and the bad side is blue has a lot of good instant sorceries, so I don't think this is a very good card. It has a weak body, only 4/3, and you need to play a lot of creatures. The effect that draws a card is good. If you have a lot of small creatures, still makes things cost less, makes you draw a card, but I think too weak body, and it's too late, too big of a, or too costly card for that. Okay, next card, Guardian of New Benalia. A 2-drop, 1 colorless, 1 white, 2/2 creature, human soldier. It has enlist, which means as this creature attacks, you may tap a non-attacking creature you control without summoning sickness. When you do, add its power to these creatures until end of turn. And whenever this creature enlists a creature, you scry 2 and you can discard a card, and Guardian of New Benalia gains indestructible in the end of turn and tap it. So it needs other creatures, and they need to have either haste or they need to be on the board before it attacks. So it's not a good aggro card, but anything. It's just a bear, and I think it could see play in somewhere, but I'm not too hopeful. You need creatures that don't attack to make it bigger, and it doesn't have only protection is discarding a card that gains it indestructible. So not very high on that. So next one. Herd Migration. A 7 mana, 6 colorless and 1 green sorcery. It has domain. Create a 3/3 green beast creature token for each basic land type among lands you control. And for 2 mana, 1 and a green, discard Herd Migration, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. You gain 3 life. So, 7 mana, maximum it can give you 5 3/3 green beast creature tokens, which is fine. And for 2 mana, you can search for a basic land. So, if you can reanimate it or cast it from a graveyard cheaper, for free, whatever, it seems good. So, for 7 mana, minimum you make like 3 creatures, right? For a 3-color deck. But I think you want to play the 5-color one. I do like the discard effect, so you can search a library. So maybe some deck can reanimate it, or not reanimate it, make it, cast it from graveyard for free or for cost reduction. So you need to play a lot of basic land types, which ain't that hard because we have Triumphs. Still, don't think it will see much play. So, Nishoba Brawler, a 2 mana, 1 colorless and 1 green, a star, attack and 3 toughness. Creature get water. It has trample and domain. Its power is equal to the number of basic land types among lands you control. So, in BANT deck, maximum it has is on turn 2 is 3/3 with trample. Seems fine. Kind of vanilla, but it's fine. But it could be a 2 mana 5/3 with trample, which is great in aggro deck. So don't think it will be busted, but I think it could see play in some kind of decks. Still, seems like a fine card, and it is a cat. Next one, Rough Weatherlight Stalwart, a white and blue 2-drop, 1/3, a legendary creature, human wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may tap 2 untapped creatures you control. If you do, draw a card. And for 3 colorless and 2 white, it has an activated ability. Creatures you control get 1/1/1 and gain vigilance until end of turn. So, it needs instant and sorceries in your deck, and it also needs creatures. The easiest way is to play instant and sorceries that make tokens. So that for the first instant and sorcery you don't draw the cards, but when you have the tokens on the battlefield, then you get to start to draw the cards. And if you go white, you can pump your creatures and attack your opponent. Still, it needs quite a lot. It needs another creature. So on turn 3, you need to play 1-drop and a 2-drop instant, or another 2-drop and 1-drop instant to draw a card. But then you don't have any blockers. So seems like fine, but I think it needs too much. So, Sphinx of the Clear Skies. 5 mana, 3 colorless and 2 blue. It's a 5/5 creature Sphinx with flying and ward 2. It has domain. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, reveal the top X cards of your library, where X is the number of basic land types among lands you control. An opponent separates those cards into 2 piles, put 1 pile into your hand and the other into your graveyard. So I see this as a great control finisher, or just a mid-range threat. So if you're going to play this our BANT deck, so you deal combat damage, you get to see 3 of your cards. You get to choose, basically put 1 great card or 2 medium cards into your hand, because opponent always separates them into 1 and 2, and I think it's great. And other cards go to your graveyard, so you can fill your graveyard if you want to which is also great. So I think it will see play, and it's quite good. We will be playing it once the set comes out. So, the Phasing of Sulfur, a 4 mana, 2 colorless, 2 blue enchantment saga. So it has a new effect, read ahead. Choose a chapter and start with that many lore counters. Add one after your draw steps. Skip chapters don't trigger. Sacrifice after 3. So chapters 1 and 2 are another target non-land permanent phases out. It can't phase in for as long as you control the phasing of Sapphire. And 3, destroy all creatures. For each creature destroyed this way, its controller creates a 2/2 black fire action creature token. So it's a blue board wipe, essentially. Gives a 2/2 black fire action creature token for each creature destroyed this way. So I kind of like it if we can remove counters in standard. I don't remember at the moment that we have any. Maybe we'll get something. So if you can basically put a counter on that on the first chapter, face something out from your opponent. And if the opponent can't remove this card, and next turn when you get the second counter and remove the second counter, then it puts another second counter on it. So you can always take opponent non-land permanents and face them out, so they can't play anything unless they can remove the enchantment. Otherwise, I think it's not that great. Maybe in some kind of token deck when you have a lot of 1/1s, so you can make yourself a lot of 2/2s. They do not have haste, but still a big board of 2/2s is fine. So I think it's interesting cards. Don't think it will see much play in standard. So, and the last spell card we're talking about is the World Spell, a 7 mana, 5 colorless and 2 green enchantment saga. It has read ahead. Chapters 1 and 2 are look at the top 7 cards of your library. You may reveal a non-saga permanent card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on bottom of your library in a random order. So, and the third one is put up to 2 non-saga permanence cards from your hand onto the battlefield. So, it's a 7 mana enchantment saga that you can play on turn 7 and put 2 permanent cards onto the battlefield. So if you can reanimate it quite fast, turn 2, turn 3, I don't know how, then this card is great. But if you can't, then again seems like a win more. You can ramp it to play it like on turn 5. I think if you can play it on turn 5 and then put 2 big things onto the battlefield, seems great. So I think if we have some kind of ramp package, I think this card can see play. It also looks your big permanents. So if you get some ramp strategies in this set, this could see a lot of play. So, and there are the first Dominaria United spoilers for BANT cards that we saw. There were a couple of commons that are just for basically draft. Don't think they will see play in standard or other constructed formats. So I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.